This podcast is intended for mature audiences only. We explore topics surrounding sexuality, intimate relationships, and related subjects in an open and candid manner. Please be advised that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is for entertainment and informational purposes only. If you are under 18 years of age or prefer not to engage with discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we strongly recommend that you refrain from listening further. However, if you are of legal age and comfortable with this content, we invite you to settle in and enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beyond Monogamy. I'm Adam.
And I'm Pris. And today on our Wednesday Quickie, we're talking about LS house parties.
LS house parties. And why are we talking about LS house parties? Because it is New Year's.
Woohoo!
And we are very excited because you're listening to this on New Year's Day. We're recording this on New Year's Eve. And we are excited because we're going to a couple of house parties tonight. For the first time in 12 years,
Yes,
we are celebrating a New Year's Eve out away from the family, outdoors, and really never have we been to an LS house party
Never.
for New Year's Eve.
No,
So this
not
is,
at all.
This is going to be interesting. This is going
Yeah.
to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're both excited about it. We went out shopping to look for something nice to wear.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is New Year's. We are excited to start 2025 with this wonderful podcast. We really appreciate that you're here and listening to us. And we're going to celebrate tonight. We're going to have it all out because both parties we're going to are play parties.
Yes.
There are some parties that are lifestyle parties that are not play parties. Some of them are just kind of meet and greet gatherings. So you definitely, before you go, want to ask, is this a play party?
I did.
Yes, you did.
I
Thank
did.
goodness. And we found out.
Yes. And I was told to start the party.
Oh, and we are party starters, are we not?
Yes.
We are now. We weren't before.
Are now. No, do you remember our first house party?
I do. I remember that we were invited through somebody from Adult Friend Finder.
Mm-hmm.
They reached out to us and said, hey, we've got this party that this older couple hosts and y'all should come out. So they gave us the information. And we showed up there, this huge mansion-like house. When we pulled up, it was just amazing. We couldn't believe it. Very dark, but they had these neon lights on their porch that were like pineapple light.
Yeah.
And this couple opened the door, and they had to have been in their 60s,
maybe
like
older.
that. Yeah, possibly older.
Mm-hmm.
The story was broken down to me that they really didn't play with a whole lot of people in the lifestyle, but they just really liked throwing lifestyle parties.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, the house itself was kind of divided on a left side wing and a right side wing. Both wings had themed bedrooms in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the center was the living room, the dining room, and all that good stuff. And then, of course, outside you walk out there, there's a hot tub and a pool.
Yeah.
And a nice deck area. And so it was a really, really nice setup. But this was the first party we went to as a couple.
Yeah.
And I was deathly nervous.
Yeah. We met some friends there. There was other acquaintances. We were very new.
We were still new. So they were friends, but they were kind of like light friends. Like we didn't really know them.
No,
So we were still kind of alone.
Yeah.
And I remember us very specifically sitting on this couch right next to each other. And I'm kind of scanning the room. And there are some women who are dressed very sexy. There were other women that were just completely naked and walking around with maybe some stilettos on.
Yeah.
There was some women that were dressed in nice, sexy lingerie, and pretty much guys who were either fully dressed or they had their shirts off. Like there's not much for guys to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
you leave your whitey tighties on.
Yeah, and that's right. You just got to keep them on.
Yes.
So I remember sitting there and scanning the room and being like, where are we right now? What are we doing?
We were both nervous. I think you and I were both nervous for two different reasons.
Yeah? Why were you nervous?
So at parties, I'm always scared that someone's going to come up to me and touch me without asking me. And back then it was not new to me, but I always had to just be on guard. I feel like every woman, well, maybe not every woman, but I am always on guard about somebody touching me inappropriately without being asked because, they're drinking and and whatnot. And it's like, ugh.
That's
And
definitely an
something,
issue.
so let's get to the party part. Do you remember what happened?
At the party?
Yeah.
So I remember a number of things because we weren't really drinking
No.
then.
Mm-mm.
I was so nervous, but I remember first and foremost, there was like play started happening in this one bedroom and
Like an
everybody
orgy
started, yeah, it
type?
was almost
Yeah.
like an orgy type. We walked into this bedroom and there was this girl who was, she was wearing a dress. She had it hiked up. She was laying on the bed. And there was this guy who was right in between her legs, just going down on her and
Mhm.
right there on the bed. But she kept talking and talking and talking about all sorts of stuff. And this one dude walked up to her and was like, "You're talking too much," and pulled out his dick and stuck it in her mouth.
Yes.
And she started sucking it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. I remember sitting back going, that takes some balls.
Literally.
Literally and figuratively. But that takes some balls.
That was the time now I'm thinking about it, there was a Sybian machine there too, right?
There was.
And that other lady was on it. And
Yeah.
I was like, what is
So
that?
I was, as a new person,
I didn't know what that was.
I was extremely overstimulated. I
Yes.
didn't know where to look.
Yeah.
Just in that room alone, like there was all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. So here's this attractive woman on this bed with her legs open, getting eaten out. She's blowing this other guy who's standing next to the bed with, just enjoying her mouth.
Yeah.
And there's lots of moans and groans, and there's several of us just kind of standing.
Yeah.
You're right next to me, and we're just standing there watching.
And I'm
this
just looking
show.
at you like,
And then in the other corner is that Sybian machine.
Mhm.
And then there's another woman who's riding that, and she's getting loud. And I remember thinking, wow, we got turned on, but it was also kind of overstimulating.
Yeah.
And so I remember we came out and we decided to go to a bedroom.
Yeah.
Because you were like, hey, maybe we should.
We're here.
We're here. Let's give this a
I'm
shot.
all about it.
And this was really the first time that I had played in front of people.
Yes.
So this was my first bout of exhibitionism.
Yes.
And we went into this room that was empty. And there was a big, probably a full
It was
or
like a
queen
full size
bed.
in the middle or in the bedroom. And then there was an air mattress.
Yes.
On like a twin size air
Yes.
mattress on the floor.
Absolutely. And
We got
so
the bed.
We got on the bed and we started making out and we went down on each other after a while, which was nice. And then I remember you slid me inside of you. We were missionaries. So I was on top of you. Your legs were around me and I was doing okay.
Yeah.
I was hard. I
Yes.
was turned on. I was
Yes.
focused on you.
Yes.
And then the doorbell started
Kept
ringing. And the bedroom that we had
Was right next to the door.
near the door. It was like a skip and a hop away from the
Yeah.
door. So, and the rule of the house was you have to keep all the bedroom doors open.
Right.
That was the rule. And so I remember the lights are on, the bedroom door is open, and people are coming in and out of the front door. And I just remember being really distracted and constantly looking up and looking to see who's coming in. And as we were having sex, one of our friends from the lifestyle and her husband walked in, along with several other people.
Yeah.
And they decided to watch the show, which was fine.
Yeah, but she was right at my face.
Except for that. She ended up coming up to the bed. And
elbows on
the bed,
holding her face.
Literally inches
watching.
away from our bodies.
Yeah.
Kind of in our space
Yeah.
while we were trying to have sex.
I think she got the hint and left.
I think so. I really struggled.
Yeah.
So I was hard,
Yeah.
but I struggled to finish.
Yeah. And so that's when the older guy, the owner of the house, came in.
Yes.
And he was older.
Yeah.
And he came in and I'm kind of with my eyes closed and he's touching my boobs.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember looking up and telling him, yeah, no.
That was really kind of that wasn't the very first time, but that was really the first time that we really stopped and went, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
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 Because he thought since he owned the house.
Yes.
And he threw the party.
Yes, that he could touch anybody.
And he didn't have to ask for consent.
Yeah.
And that I thought was interesting. That was interesting. That was really the first time I ever saw you come out and go, hey, don't do that.
Yeah.
And of course that threw off my rhythm game even more.
I mean, I think you finished. I'm pretty sure you finished. You wouldn't have not finished.
I wouldn't have not finished and I wouldn't have faked it.
No.
Then.
No. So I'm pretty sure you finished.
Yeah. That was a difficult one. I think you had me focus on you.
I did.
Yeah.
I do that.
Yeah. And so that was that party was interesting, but that was really where my anxieties with parties first developed because of that. And I
Yeah.
remember us getting invited to another party in that area, and we went, and there was some attractive women there, and we were all outside by the pool. They had this big bar out by the pool on their deck there. And we were all there, and we were watching them make drinks, and everybody was drinking and having a good time, and they were getting sloshed. And I remember you kind of backing your ass against me, and you were rubbing my dick through my
Yeah.
pants, and you were like, "Hey, you want to go inside? You want to
Yeah.
fool around? You want to play?" And I remember looking at you and telling you, "I don't think I can.
Yeah.
Like, I am way too distracted. I'm way too nervous.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can."
Yeah.
And then you said, "Well, do you want to have a drink? Maybe that'll loosen you up." And I was like, I don't think I can perform at this party.
Yeah.
One, there was a lot of very attractive women, and I didn't feel like I fit in there
Yeah.
because there was also attractive men,
Yeah.
and I definitely didn't feel like I was on that level. And so I remember thinking, there's just no way. Like, this was, you got to understand, this was at the very beginning of our time in the lifestyle. And so I remember thinking, no, there's just no way. I can't do this. And so we were there for a little while. People started getting into the pool and having fun and all that good stuff. And I remember you and I were just like, well, we're gonna head out. We'll see you guys later. And we left.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty much the extent of our party
That's pretty much
experiences.
the last parties we would go to, because I think we went to another one in that area.
Yeah.
And we went in and said hi to everybody, and then we're like, okay, let's go. Because I
Yeah.
knew that was your anxiety.
Oh, it
I'm
was
very
big
easy,
time.
so I'm like, I'm very submissive to you. So it's like
Yeah,
wherever you
so
want to do it.
we can do it wherever as far as
Yeah.
you're concerned, you're fine. But for me, it's a bit different because, it's like that first party triggered such major anxiety for me that it carried on
Yeah,
for a long
for a long
time.
time.
And then we moved out here, and I remember hearing everybody say, "Oh, house party, house party, house party." But we never got an invite.
No. Well, hold up.
Hmm.
You're going too
Oh,
far.
did I pass
You
something?
passed
What
something.
did I pass?
Oh, Mr. Alvarez, please tell everybody about our house party that we
Oh,
decided to
oh my
throw.
God.
I
Yeah.
think we've mentioned it
I
in a show
did.
before.
I did. I forgot about
Yeah.
that. So we were struggling to get invited to house parties after a while, and I had major anxiety. And so you decided to say, "Hey, why don't we just throw one?"
Yeah, because we had a really pretty house in Corpus.
Yeah, it was
Or
nice.
sorry.
It was nice.
And yeah, it was really nice.
It was nice.
And it had a pool.
It had a pool.
It
It
had
was
our
quite a
bedroom.
tangible.
Yeah, our bedroom was downstairs. So we
Yep.
were like, no one can go upstairs. Let's just do this. It
Yeah.
was empty. So
I am a bit of a research geek.
yeah.
And I was already anxious. So I was like, I need to research this. How do you throw a swinger party? And so I looked it up. I actually found some really good information, and I even printed it out. I had
Yeah.
like a list of
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
that I had to do to prepare for this party. We set it up. I think we sent out the invites to several people that we knew in the
Yeah,
circle.
about 8 or 10.
Yeah. And people started showing up. And as people started showing up, I remember we had this circle of chairs and the couch and all that stuff in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was sitting down. And I remember in particular, there was this couple that I had been seeing from the beginning since we started
Yes.
on AFF. And I remember I found her really attractive. And I was intimidated immediately that she was even there.
Right.
And they were sitting down. You and I were sitting down in the chairs basically across from them in this circle.
Right.
And everybody's sitting there. And the nervous man in me turns into comedian. And I start entertaining everybody. And
Yeah.
I'm making jokes and I'm
Yeah.
talking and we're doing the thing that we do. And then you realize that this is what I'm going to do all night.
Yeah.
We need to get started.
So I am all about let's get the party started. Let's do this. I'm not going to stay awake all night, and we just need to get this started. So I proceed to start rubbing you in front of everybody
As I'm telling antidotes.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, we're going to do
stories.
this. I unzip your shorts.
As I'm telling anecdotes and stories.
And I start to blow you.
As I'm telling anecdotes and stories. And I remember thinking very, very clearly, oh, this is happening now.
Yeah.
And I remember making eye contact with the people I was talking to, and I'm like,
Yeah.
so this is happening.
Yeah.
And
And
they
it
all,
kind of got everybody started because one
Yeah.
girl was on the recliner getting eaten out by that guy.
yeah.
And then
we moved to the couch.
we moved to the couch where several girls started blowing you. And then when they were done with you, one would start with you and then be like, can I try you? And I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
And we just kept going back
So we
and
were
forth.
basically both sitting on the couch, both getting oral from
And
different
then
people.
somebody made it to the bedroom, to our bedroom. And by the time you know it, there's about 8 bodies on
Yep.
our king size bed.
Just getting down.
Getting
to
it down.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a time.
And
that was a time.
that was fun. It was kind of weird,
And,
odd.
you know, it was different.
It was different.
It was different. I wouldn't say it was weird, but it was different. Considering we had very little experience.
Yeah.
It was hard to set that up properly, but we did it.
We did. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, we even got invited to another party, and we walked in and we just saw like 3 people, and I think 2 of them were men and 1 lady, and we just walked right out. We're like, all right, we got to go.
That sounds about right.
And
man.
so we left. So
the
yeah,
vibes are everything. If there's no vibes,
if
forget
there's no vibe,
it. It's bad.
you know what I don't get about house parties?
Why?
There's not a lot of playing.
So that's interesting that you say that. Since we've moved out here,
Yeah.
we weren't invited a whole lot, but we got invited to one party when we first moved out here.
Yes.
And I remember the setup was nice. It was a nice house. Everybody was very sweet. And they started with games and icebreakers.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
And so they did a bingo. And so everybody had to go talk to everybody else and talk about, it was a lifestyle bingo.
Oh, yes.
And so everybody had a card, and you had to go over there and find who had this experience and who had that experience, and you mark them off.
Yeah.
I actually won that bingo.
You did.
Yeah. And I got a massager for
Yeah.
it, which is pretty cool.
An actual massager,
Yeah,
not like a
not like
vibrator.
a Hitachi or anything. It was like a back massager. But I remember after that they did the Jenga,
Yeah.
which had
Yeah.
numbered blocks on there, and each
And like
number
you had to do something,
had like, yeah, you had
a
to do
sexual
something.
act.
Right.
But not like a really bad sexual
No, like
act.
I had one girl who ended up she
kissing
was
you or lap dancing?
No, she was giving me a lap dance.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
yeah. And so things like that. But in the middle of, like, we did 1 or 2 rounds of that, and they kept it going. And you looked at me and you were like, "Are you ready to do this?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Dude, let's go." And so we got up, we walked to one of the playrooms that looked really nice. It was kind of in a back area, dark red lights in there. And they had a Sybian machine that was not far from us. They had one of those yoga chairs.
Yeah.
Those yoga sex chairs. And that's what we started with. And I remember being very nervous because I was still kind of holding on to this trauma from past shows.
I fixed that real good.
But I still had that nervousness. So I remember taking off my clothes and sitting in this chair. And you're like, "I'm going to go down on you for a while."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay." And so you did. You went down on me, and I was rock hard by that time. And that's when people started making their way in.
Yes.
And they were basically watching you go down on me while we watched others ride that Sybian machine.
Mhm.
And that was
everybody
interesting
started.
show.
Yeah, everybody started making their way back there.
Yeah.
They started hearing us.
Yeah. So they started hearing
Yeah.
us. Yeah. And then you got on top of me and you started riding me on this yoga chair
Mhm.
while we watched everybody else. Now that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I wasn't ready. I didn't want to come yet. And
No.
it's not because I didn't want to come because I would be done. It was because I didn't want to come yet because I wasn't sure where I wanted to play.
Yeah.
You know, there was other
Yeah.
rooms.
And so you're very considerate also. If you know I'm going to play with somebody else, and you will fuck, and then you'll kind of not come, so that just in case somebody else wants to like
'cause,
eat my pussy.
Yeah, if there's a
You're
girl or
so
a guy who wants to
considerate.
go down on you, then
You're so
some people are into that, but some people are not. You know,
Yeah.
they're not trying to eat a cream pie. You know
Oh
what I mean?
well,
So I normally will
I like
wait.
cream pies.
I will edge and wait. That is true. So do I.
I know.
I will normally edge and wait
Yes.
until, we know that we're probably wrapping up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then,
We made
oh
our
my
way to
gosh.
the bed.
We did. We made our way to another room where we found a good couple friend of ours
Yeah.
who were playing on one side of the bed. And they were like, "Hey, come on. We got plenty of room over here." So we literally had sex right next to them while
Yes.
they were having sex
Yeah.
right next to us. That would not be the last time, by the way.
No.
Um,
No, we always have
no,
sex
yeah,
right next to them.
yeah. It's almost like we got a
It's so
reserved
funny.
spot,
It's my spot.
So I remember that, and that was I didn't last long after that. And then when we were
No.
done with that, we pretty much just got dressed and we were like,
Yeah.
okay, well, we got somewhere we got to be
So-
tomorrow, so we left.
Really quick, a lot of people, so especially like at that one, we were on the bed and you were eating me out.
Yeah.
And you kind of pushed my leg over
Yeah.
to where if someone's looking, they could see your tongue kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. So I like
And-
to give that shit.
Yeah. You know, there's guys and there's women and they're watching. What do you do in that situation? Everyone freezes. Like no one asks, hey, can I join?
You know, the ideal thing would have to be somebody coming up who says, hey, do you mind if I get in there?
Yeah.
Because most likely we would be like, fuck yeah, go in
Because
there.
you do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like when we're with friends or whatever and we're partying, you'll ask, hey, can I join?
Yeah.
And it's like, but nobody asked, or should the person having
So I was told that the actual way to do it is if we're playing
okay.
and people are watching us, that we're supposed to signal to them to come and play. Now, in that particular night, the woman who gave me a lap dance that night,
Yeah.
there was a little bit of sexual tension between us. And so she was watching us when we were in that room. She was watching us play.
Uh-huh.
And she was making heavy eye contact with both you and me.
Yes.
This was the first time I had ever had this experience. And I remember you telling
Yes.
me, I think she wants to fuck you. And I was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Because she's just standing there watching.
Yeah.
Comes to find out, I talked to her after the party and
Mhm.
she made it real clear. She was like, I was trying to give you the signal to wave me over, trying to show you that I was interested, that I wanted to fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I had no idea. And she says, well, you know what? The next time we're at a party together, I'm fucking you. I'm not even asking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, by all means, do you.
Yeah.
But that was the first time that I really sat back and said, oh, okay, how is this supposed to work exactly? And apparently, how it's supposed to work is if you see somebody who's watching you and they're making eye contact and they're maybe giving you this typical signal,
Okay.
nonverbal signal.
Yeah. Like the baseball signals, like
No, I think they're just facial
Okay,
expressions
okay.
and whatnot. They seem interested.
okay.
Then you should, if you're interested, wave them over
Okay.
and say something like, hey, do you want to join us?
So
You know?
yes, I remember when we were at one of the clubs and I was giving eye contact to two of our friends and they had just had sex. And I looked at them and I did something and they were both coming and I was like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not calling you over. Like, I remember. So I guess what's the signal?
You know,
If they're giving you sexy eyes, you should blink twice.
realistically, if they're making lots of eye contact, if they're standing there for a long period of time, and if they have a facial expression that looks like they're interested,
Okay.
then you should look over at them and say, hey, do you want to join? Because if we don't give them that verbal
I'm
ability,
always so
they're just going to stand there.
yeah. And I guess they can say yes or no, right? Regarding their rules or their boundaries.
They can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that simple is that we just offered. They said no.
Yeah. Be like,
The end with that.
okie dokies.
And they'll be like, no, I just want to watch. Or they'll be like, yeah, sure. And they'll come over.
Oh, right.
But realistically, if you're watching somebody, you can come up to them and say, hey, would I be able to join?
Man, that's a lot.
But you're taking a chance in getting rejected. You're
Yeah.
taking that chance of being told no.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that. And then say you're the couple, then you'd have to be the one to say no, which is uncomfortable in and of itself. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've never had to try and keep a hard on while telling somebody uncomfortably, no, don't join us.
Yeah.
You know, because that
Yeah.
would be difficult.
I mean, if I didn't want somebody to join, I would just tell them, oh, no, thank you.
You're pretty sweet.
We're doing our thing right now.
You're pretty sweet about
Yeah.
that. I always feel like a deer in the headlights. When I'm
Yeah.
talking.
No, you.
So I'm going to be like pressured
So,
into saying yes.
I feel like everybody in the lifestyle should, it's not rejection. It's more of a, not at this time.
Okay.
Like, take it just the way it is, you know?
Yeah. So
Right.
if you had to speak to our newbies or
Mhm.
to our new people who maybe have never had party experience,
Okay.
what would be your tips for them on what to expect or how they should act at a lifestyle party?
I would say you go in and you meet everybody, right? You introduce yourself, you do that little chit chat, but when you're ready to play, find your spot. And I would say start with your partner, then kind of do a little tease, or even like stand around and start teasing your partner, because that's your person that's going to make you more comfortable. So you and I mostly play together,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it's,
We start out with each other,
yeah.
and most parties, we don't have anybody who plays with us. So it's
And it's just
normally
because
just us.
nobody plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like they just don't play. So I say start with your partner, do a little teasing, or if you see somebody that you're interested in and maybe you've spoken to them on a social media site or whatever, go and do your little flirting. Don't be scared. It is nerve-wracking,
Well,
but
and don't be scared. Easier said than done. But
it
it
is.
realistically, you're at a house where everybody's there for the same
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Now, what the problem is that, my suggestion would be don't have any expectations,
True.
because you can walk
True.
into a play party and, like we said earlier, people will not play.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, from what we're told, people will drink till like midnight to 2 in the morning, and then they'll
Yeah.
play if they still have it in them to play.
And let me tell you, let me say this again. If you're drinking, it is not going to be fun. If you're drunk, it is not going to be fun. Sex,
No.
men do not, I mean, you get whiskey dick.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and realistically, the more you drink, the more you kind of get hot and sweaty, and
Yeah.
not the good
And
sweaty.
it is not fun.
And the big thing is I understand that when you drink, you lose inhibitions. It makes
Yeah.
you a little looser.
Relax.
But there is a small window
There is.
where if you keep drinking,
Yes.
you will become obliterated.
Yes. And I have a feeling that at one party, we're probably going to have massive, massive fun. And the other party, we're going to have to start it.
Maybe.
And I'm
But
kind of excited.
I'm prepared to start it at both
Yeah.
places. What I've learned at these parties is everybody loves a good show,
Yes.
and they don't really care who's giving the show. And so what we tend to do is we go in there and we meet everybody, and we're wearing clothes for about 30 minutes, and then we find a bedroom or we find a spot that is the fuck spot, and we just go at it.
That relaxes us.
That relaxes us. The first nut of the night
Yes.
really kind of loosens you up.
Yeah.
And I love it. So I will say we are looking forward to these
Yeah.
parties tonight. They are going to be a lot of fun. And if they're not fun, guess what? We're still going to have fun.
That's right.
Because damn, you were fine.
So are you. You're going to look so handsome.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look a little dapper.
Yeah, I'm ready for 2025.
2025 is going to be an amazing year. And let me tell you something. 2025 is going to be an amazing year because not only have we started this podcast where we get to communicate with our community,
Yes.
but we have some big changes coming down the line. And, we really are thankful for everybody who's been listening in on the podcast. We've got a lot of things happening regarding the podcast. Things are expanding, things are moving and shaking, and it is getting popular over here. We are happy to report that. And it should be an interesting year.
I think so.
I know that we were talking podcast wise, we were talking about bringing on some guests every now and then. And so we will be making some changes to our format at some point and bringing on some guests occasionally and doing that sort of thing. But for right now, you are stuck with us, and we are
Yes.
stuck with you, and
And that's
love
okay.
it. We love it.
Hope you guys have a wonderful new year, and I hope you have tons of amazing sexual encounters.
Absolutely. Here's
Be
wishing
safe.
you some great, great sex and a great, great 2025. You guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.
Bye.